Local health experts talk about the effectiveness and longevity of COVID-19 vaccines. Oklahoma lawmakers advance a bill that would provide protections to people who accidentally run over demonstrators blocking roads.
The four states' most watched news starts now.
The Oklahoma Senate passes a bill centered on protests, igniting controversy even as demonstrations continue in other parts of the country. This is KOAM News at 10. The Oklahoma bill would grant immunity to motorists who accidentally hit and kill or injure a person while the motorist is fleeing a riot. Oklahoma law defines a riot as, quote, any use of force or violence or any threat to use force or violence if accompanied by immediate power of execution by three or more persons acting together and without authority of law. The measure passed by the Senate would also increase penalties for people who block traffic during a protest. They could be charged with a misdemeanor and sentenced to up to a year in prison. The bill's author, Senator Rob Standridge, says the bill was prompted mostly by an incident in Tulsa last summer in which a pickup drove through a crowd gathered on a Tulsa interstate while protesting the death of George Floyd. Several people were injured, but the driver was not charged. Oklahoma Democrats argued before the vote that the bill could lead to the punishment of innocent bystanders or peaceful protesters. The bill now awaits the governor's signature. Officials braced for more protests and extended a curfew in Brooklyn Center, Minnesota, where an officer shot and killed 20-year-old motorist Dante Wright during a traffic stop on Sunday. Chris Martinez has more.
Brooklyn Center's mayor called for calm in the wake of Dante Wright's shooting death by a former police officer.
I urge you to protest peacefully and without violence.
Mayor Mike Elliott also said a 10 p.m. to 6 a.m. curfew is being extended. Earlier, a prosecutor announced a second-degree manslaughter charge against former Officer Kim Potter, 3 days after the 26-year police veteran shot and killed Wright during a traffic stop. Brooklyn Center's former police chief, who also stepped down after the incident, has said Potter meant to use her taser, but accidentally fired her handgun.
She held it for 5 seconds at least. All this training. At what point did you not feel that this was a gun in your hand versus a taser?
20-year-old Wright's death set off protests and unrest in the aftermath of the Sunday shooting in the Minneapolis suburb. It happened just miles from where fired officer Derek Chauvin is being tried for murder in the death of George Floyd. Wednesday night, people held a vigil at the scene of Dante Wright's death, while protesters also gathered more than 900 miles away in Atlanta. Chris Martinez, CBS News.
The second-degree manslaughter charge against Potter carries a maximum penalty of 10 years in prison if she's tried and convicted. Checking in with Doug Hetty now. The temperature dropping out there, Doug.
It is. It's starting to get a little bit cooler across the region, but temperatures, they weren't bad for us today, just a little bit below where we should be for this time of the year, but it's actually going to cool down quite a bit over the next few days. 51, 64 were the numbers today, average high 70. Clouds rolled in during the afternoon, and now we have a few very light showers or sprinkles across the region. Majority of the rain is going to stay to our south, or at least a more persistent rain. But yeah, we're going to get a couple little sprinkles, maybe a quick little shower tonight, and that is just about it. Clouds will break up late tonight, and then they roll right back in for us tomorrow. Still, I think tomorrow looks like a pretty good day, but we definitely have a lot of changes working in. Kind of chilly for us right now, lower 50s. I think most of us about 38 to 40 degrees for an overnight low. Good chances for rain by Friday. We'll look at that here in just a bit.
All right, we'll catch you then. Thanks, Doug. Missouri lawmakers are considering setting aside a day each January to honor the late Rush Limbaugh. The Cape Girardeau native gained national fame as a conservative broadcaster before he died in February at age 70 after a battle with cancer. A Missouri Senate committee this week debated legislation to designate January 12th, Limbaugh's birthday, as Rush Limbaugh Day. A similar proposal is pending in the House. And that brings us to today's KOAM News Now Instapoll question. We want to know how you feel about that Missouri proposal to set aside a day every year to honor Rush Limbaugh. Tell us if you support it or oppose it. Well, you can do that by going to KOAMnewsnow.com/vote or through the KOAM News Now mobile app. Numbers are updated live, and we're going to check in on the final results later in this newscast. Students in North Joplin are one step closer to having a brand new and safer school. A groundbreaking today marked the beginning of construction on the new Dover Hill Elementary. The school, named for its location on Dover Hill, will replace Columbia and West Central Elementary. Those are two of the oldest schools in the district. Columbia has structural issues stemming from mining features underground, also poor soil conditions. Taxpayers are funding construction of this new school after giving their approval to a $25 million bond issue. A portion of that bond is also funding an addition at Kelsey Norman Elementary. Still ahead, more and more 4-staters are vaccinated against COVID-19, but how effective are those vaccines and how long could they last? We're going to look at the latest data and new recommendations for pregnant women considering getting a vaccine. As more people get fully vaccinated against COVID-19, you might wonder how long a vaccine will protect you. With each flu season, you have to get a new flu shot to be protected against the latest strain of the flu virus. But with the COVID-19 vaccine being so new, research is continuing to determine how long the various vaccines protect you. According to local health officials, current data says the vaccines may be effective up to a year out, maybe longer. There's also another concern that people who are fully vaccinated getting an antibody test right after. One health professional we spoke with says that's not a good idea.
And there's a reason why that is not being recommended, i.e. that you measure antibodies, because then you start being doubtful, like, oh my God, maybe I need a third shot or another kind of vaccine. I have received a Pfizer or the Moderna. Maybe I need the Moderna if I got the Pfizer vaccine.
Dr. Esquerra says that's because research right now says you typically have antibodies only after a recent COVID infection. Because of the way the vaccine works, it may not show up on an antibody test. With the pause on the Johnson & Johnson vaccine in the U.S., there's a new recommendation for pregnant and postpartum women when it comes to getting vaccinated for COVID-19. Mandy Gaither has more.
Hours after a pause on the U.S.'s only single-dose COVID-19 vaccine, a new recommendation by the American College of Obstetricians and Gynecologists, the group encouraging pregnant and postpartum women who wish to get vaccinated to either get the Pfizer or Moderna vaccines, which are designed differently, rather than the Johnson & Johnson vaccine if it becomes available again.
Pregnancy itself is a risk factor for blood clots. So when you think about that, the serious side effect we're talking about is blood clots, anything you can do to reduce that risk makes sense.
The CDC and FDA called for a pause in the use of the Johnson & Johnson vaccine out of what the agencies called an abundance of caution after more than 6.8 million doses of the vaccine were administered in the U.S. 6 cases were reported of a rare and severe type of blood clot in women ages 18 to 48. It's still unclear whether the vaccine was the cause.
We do know this is an exceedingly rare complication. It's about 1 in a million. Which is good because it is a serious complication. So we also know that most of these blood clots occurred within 2 weeks from receiving the vaccine. So if you're already past that 2-week mark, you're probably in the clear.
But Atlanta-based OBGYN Dr. Sujatha Reddy says pregnant women who have gotten the Johnson & Johnson vaccine should listen to their bodies, seek medical help if they experience any symptoms, which could include severe headache, abdominal pain, leg pain, or shortness of breath. For Health Minute, I'm Mandy Gaither.
The American College of Obstetricians and Gynecologists says it's making the recommendation until there's what they call a better understanding of the frequency and impact of this finding and whether it's linked to the Johnson & Johnson vaccine. Doug Heddy is up next with his complete forecast, and later 4 Carl Junction student athletes sign on to continue their athletic careers at the next level.
Well, it turned out to be a pretty good Wednesday today. We had sunny skies during the morning hours and then some clouds starting to roll in during the afternoon as we have a weak little wave that is passing by, but still not bad. Most of us went into the mid-60s during the afternoon hours. Nice shot, Indigo Sky Casino and Resort just outside of Seneca, Missouri. Let's go ahead and zoom in. You can see those high temperatures anywhere from about 60 to upper 60, 67, 68. In our southern counties. Now, we've dropped off a little bit. It's not bad. It's a little chilly. We're at 50 in Iola, 54 in Indy, 55 in Miami, Neosho. Lamar is sitting at 54 degrees. But the clouds, they started to thicken up as we work through about the middle of the afternoon. There's a weak little wave that is passing just to our south, and that's keeping most of the rain south of us, but we are getting at least a few little sprinkles which are rotating through. Now, a little bit heavier once you get down into Ottawa County, southern parts of Newton County, and near Grand Lake. These are still very light, just a little bit more persistent. But most of the rain is going to stay south of us. You can see the heavier pockets are down across eastern Oklahoma, Arkansas, all the way into northern parts of Texas. These will continue to rotate right on through as we go through the overnight hours tonight. So this is our first little weak wave, and again, you can see it's mainly south of us. Right behind it, though, we have another storm system. That storm system is a much bigger system. It's going to give us much better chances for rain and also quite a bit of rain. We obviously had rain last Friday with the showers and thunderstorms, a little bit of severe weather, but since then we've been mainly dry. So just a random sprinkle or two for us tonight, and again, mainly in our southern counties. We'll actually see the clouds break up just a little bit as we head into the morning hours. So we do get some sunshine tomorrow morning, and then here come the clouds again by the afternoon. Temperatures still decent, a little cool for this time of the year, but not bad. We'll start out near 40, 56 by noon, high temp at 62. We're going to have a northeasterly wind at about 5 to 10 miles per hour. But by tomorrow evening, showers start to increase, especially in our western counties. On and off light showers through the overnight hours tomorrow night into Friday morning. So here's Friday morning, and then the more persistent rain starts to work in. So all day long on Friday, it's just going to rain. We may even get a little thunder shower. Nothing strong, nothing severe, so that's the good news. We're not going to get any severe weather out of this system. But it's going to rain, and it's going to be kind of cold. Upper 40s, lower 50s, 4 highs on Friday. Rain continues into the afternoon, into the evening hours. And then by Friday night and Saturday morning, kind of tapers off to some light showers. But temperatures are going to be quite a bit cooler, and we're going to get some decent amount of rain out of this system. I think most of us, let's go up to about Saturday morning, 1, maybe isolated 2-inch amounts in spots. So it's a pretty wet system, but at least we don't have to worry about severe weather. 62 for us tomorrow, high of only 50 on Friday, only 51 Saturday. Sunday looks good, but still kind of cool at 55. Monday looks great. Then we cool back down again next Tuesday and Wednesday. Once we get to next weekend, so not this coming weekend, but the following, that's when our severe threat will start to increase again, and also we get mainly into the 70s from here on out.
Obviously, we would prefer chilly to severe if we had our druthers.
That is very true.
Thanks, Todd. Soybeans are the #1 crop in Missouri and among the top 10 crops in Kansas, so it's safe to say they fuel a big part of the 4 states' agricultural economy. They can be used as literal fuel as well. For some time now, researchers have used soybeans to create a biofuel. Well, scientists at PSU explored their use in the creation of batteries. In that exploration, they found a process that can convert soybean biomass to create batteries. The research was done with the assistance of students majoring in polymer chemistry. The scientists have filed a patent for the process. Theater students at Joplin High School are preparing for their next performance. They're going to perform the musical The Drowsy Chaperone. The Drowsy Chaperone is an homage to American musicals of the jazz age and the effect they have on fans.
We're so grateful that we finally get to do this again. And as much as we don't necessarily love wearing masks, we're so grateful that we can do this. And wearing the masks is only a small obstacle for a huge opportunity.
Very well and expressively said. The performances will be this Friday and Saturday. You can buy tickets online for $10. Masks are required, not necessarily as fancy as those you just saw. Still ahead, a young lineup has the Pittsburgh softball team off to a hot start this season. Plus, a few Carl Junction standouts signed today to continue their careers at the next level. Jacob Leonard has details next.
4 Carl Junction student athletes signed today to continue their careers in college. 2 of them are moving on to cheer, while the other 2 will continue to play baseball at the next level. Maggie Brown and Jade Smith sign on to continue their cheer careers today. Brown at Pittsburgh State and Smith, Southwest Baptist. On the baseball side, these 2 can really play. Carson Johnson signs to play at Ottawa University in Kansas, while Noah Southern headed down to Oklahoma to play for the NEO Golden Norsemen.
Today's kind of been overwhelming. It's been one of those days that I'm excited, but at the same time it's the end of this chapter of my life and to go on to the next and hopefully come out with my dream to further my baseball career after college too.
They gave me a pretty good offer to play and a pretty good chance to play right away, and felt pretty close to home and better than going halfway across the state, so it's pretty good.
The Pittsburgh High School softball team is off to a hot start this season. Now, behind that start is a young roster, hot bats, and early season chemistry. The Pittsburgh Purple Dragons are 6-2 through their first 8 games.
The only thing better would be to start off 8-0. Sure would like to have one of those games back and maybe be 7-1, but we'll take 6-2 right now.
My freshman year, we had a little rough season, and it was more on the losing side, and it is so much more fun to win and have a good team and everyone know about us and hear about us, and it just feels great.
Pittsburgh does not have a single senior on the roster. Their lineup is made up of freshmen and a big group of juniors who have stepped up to lead the way.
It's been easy for us to take on that role. When seniors are there, juniors always feel like they need to step back a little more, but with us we have a great group of juniors that need to take role and lead each other, and that's exactly what we're doing.
Each and every one of them brings a different leadership quality that benefits the whole team. You're not just kind of like loping around, we're going to do this because we're supposed to, because you want to. Own it.
We've had a freshman third baseman, a freshman shortstop, which is incredible, and our freshman pitchers, they do great.
Chemistry has been key.
Everyone knows that we like each other, we're going to be there for each other.
We win together, we lose together, we run together, we laugh together, we cry together. It's all of us all in all the time for each other. Say it loud! If I don't hear it, it don't happen.
And their offense has been big as well, posting 10 runs per game.
One of our big goals every game is to take the pressure off of us and put it on the other team. And so when you get on the board first, it takes the pressure off. You're able to play a little bit more relaxed and focus a little bit better.
We always tell our pitchers, we'll back you up defensively, we'll get you offensively. So just having everything and putting it all together, it's really helped us out.
With their hot start and a young core, the Dragons have high expectations for not only this season, but next year as well.
What a unique position for Pittsburgh softball to be in at this point in time. Great junior leadership, great sophomores on our team, great freshmen. The future's bright. Yeah, future's great for these girls. I know they're super excited about what they're doing right now. 4-4-4. Here we go. We're not playing the best softball that we're going to play all season, so if we can go 8-0 down the stretch at the end of the season, I'll take that.
Pittsburgh will be back in action next Tuesday facing Columbus. Major League Baseball now. Royals try to take the series from the Angels today. Salvador Perez, big day. Solo home run here, his 3rd of the season, gives the Royals the early lead. Later, Perez finds the gap. This one will score Whit Merrifield all the way from first. Perez goes 2 for 4, drives in 2. Kansas City wins it big, 6-1. Royals now 6-4 this season. Well, it was not that good of a day for the St. Louis Cardinals. They're wrapping up their series with the Nationals today. Ryan Zimmerman, deep shot off Adam Wainwright. Washington goes up 2. Meanwhile, Cardinals not able to score today, only managing 4 hits. All Nationals in this one, 6-0. And that's a look at sports. We're back with more news after this.
Take time now to honor a local veteran. First Lieutenant Vincent Chirafisi Jr. served in the U.S. Army during the Vietnam War. His hometown, Army, Kansas. And we are proud to salute First Lieutenant Vincent Chirafisi Jr., tonight's 4th state hero. All right, let's check back now on the KOAM News Now Insta poll. Again, Missouri lawmakers are considering setting aside January 12th to honor the late broadcaster Rush Limbaugh. We wanted to know how you feel about the proposal. 73% oppose it. This poll is now closed. Thank you for participating. If the average spider web just isn't quite creepy enough for you, well, now there's an eerie soundtrack to make it more unsettling. Take a listen. Yeah, those dulcet tones are what happened when MIT scientists decided to make some music. They did it by basically translating spider webs into tones and harmonies. They worked with an artist to get laser scans of a web and then recreate the web in virtual reality. MIT's music department pitched in by helping create a harp-like virtual instrument. It may sound like a whimsical high-tech project, but there could actually be a serious use for these haunting harmonies. Understanding webs through tonality could help scientists better grasp how spiders make the webs and even how they communicate. They communicate through the web like the rest of us. Researchers also think it may lead to advanced new 3D printing techniques. All right, let's check back now with Doug for a final look at the weather.
All right, Dow, we are going to have the clouds tonight. Could even have a random sprinkler, too. It's not a huge deal, but just a few random sprinkles out there. Tomorrow still looks pretty good, 62. We are going to start to get some showers in here during the evening hours, and then rain picks up tomorrow night. Rain and cold all day Friday, and unfortunately, the weekend, middle of April, we're barely going to crack 50.
Yeah, that's pretty chilly. Thanks, Doug, and thank you for joining us. See you tomorrow. Let's take care of ourselves and each other.